I grew up watching Ronald Reagan on GE Theater every Sunday night at 9. It was number 3. It was in the top 10 almost all the time. I really liked the guy. Then I disagree with his politics. And then I liked him again as an historic figure. I'm one of their mixed up guys. What do you make of him in terms of the bad side of him? I want to talk about the part you didn't put in perhaps in the documentary. He didn't really care about the environment. He seemed to have a hard time figuring out the role that social policy, Social Security, Medicare, and those problems, how they helped real people. Yet if he confronted a case of a real person in trouble, he would sort of write a check to that person. How do you put that together?
Well, as many people in the film told us, especially his family members, talked about a man who, yes, on a personal level, could really have his heart go out to people. If you had a problem, he'd give you the shirt off his back. But then he would turn around and engage in policy making that was deeply hurtful to people, as if when he saw a group of people, he had trouble seeing them as a group of individuals he might care about. And so the heartbreaking part about him, and it is in the film a little bit, in part of the whole bigger picture that we show about him, is that Ronald Reagan in many ways presented himself as a friend to Main Street America. He'd come from the Heartland, he'd come from a small town, and yet at the end of the day, that Reader's Digest America, that's the very America his policies did the most to hurt. I think he didn't mean to do that. I agree with definitely the portrait of Ronald Reagan, where this is a man of deep care and deep intentions and deep love of this country, but I think there were mistakes made. There were policy ideas he had, Reaganomics and others, that just hurt the very people he sought, I think, to most help. Ronald Reagan in many ways presented himself as a friend to Main Street America. He'd come from the Heartland, he'd come from a small town, and yet at the end of the day, that Reader's Digest America, that's the very America his policies did the most to hurt.